Hello, welcome back to Side Quests. I'm Reese, and I want to thank everybody for the massive amount of support I got on my last video about traveling to Chitwan, Nepal. In that video, I only went through my photography. I didn't show any of the video clips that I got while I was there. So today I'm going to be going through all of those clips. It's about 100 in total. So you'll be able to see a lot of the interesting things I was able to do and some of the wildlife that I was able to see while I was in Chitwan National Park, which is in southern Nepal on the border of India. So let's get into it. The first video is just of me standing in the park camp right on the edge of Chitwan National Park with two of these orphaned baby rhinos that were being rehabbed there. Here's a wild rhino just sleeping in the woods on the edge of the camp. And then we have the elephant Makuna, who was a tuskless male elephant walking by the camp. Next, feeding the larger orphaned baby rhino, Puja. And then we have a glimpse of the tiger in the problem tiger containment zone, which we'll see more of later. More of Makuna walking by the camp. He really came by every few days. Here's us riding in the Jeep through the park itself on the trails. And here's a gray langur monkey.
You guys know what you should not do around monkeys?
Here's the Gharial Crocodile Breeding Center. This is a wild peacock.
Come on.
Here you see they're driving the Jeep through the shallow river. This is a sambar deer, the largest deer species in this forest. Here's some footage of a wild rhinoceros.
It's like a cut, you can see through the gap on its left ear. You see that?
Oh, yeah, and then top.
Yeah, that's one of the...
This is a government elephant just carrying food for itself, essentially. This might be the best footage that I got on the entire trip, and that is of a wild rhinoceros walking up to the riverfront, getting a drink, and then just crossing right in front of our boat. Really some of the most beautiful footage I've ever gotten, certainly. Next I have the baby elephants at the elephant breeding center. So these are being raised to be government work elephants. Here's the wild elephant Ronaldo. He came up to visit.
नकाटेको भए कत्रो लामो हुन्छ
Here's all three of the baby orphaned rhinos. And here's them hauling out this tranquilized or sedated leopard on a stretcher to tag it and take its vitals. This footage is from the Vulture Restaurant, which is a endangered vulture conservation center. I talk about this in my other video.
All the long neck vultures that compete feeding in the carcass in the crowd. And here are the species of vultures like Cinerias, Egyptian, and British. They grab food and steal the food from others. They take out the flesh.
This shows about how bumpy the bus rides were. Here's some camera trap footage where this elephant destroyed our camera trap. Here's some videos I got of the traditional Taru dancing. Here's some better footage of the female tiger in the tiger containment zone. I took this while she was eating, except here she hisses at me.
How long have they lived here? Yeah, you want one more or 2 months?
This is the rhinoceros caretaker working out with the older of the orphan baby rhinos. They would go for runs. This is a little bat in the bathroom that I found. Here's Pooja eating some leaves. She likes, I'm not sure what kind of tree this is. Here's a clip of feeding the milk to the younger baby rhinos. This is a weird video because of the sound. Make sure you listen because this is what the rhino sounds like when it's asking for milk. It kind of sounds like a cow, but a little bit different.
She's so brown.
Here's a wild rhino that broke into the camp, or rather just walked through it, essentially. These next clips just show some of the baby rhinoceros just messing around, playing around. Don't eat my leg.
Is its name Deb?
Yeah, I think so.
Deb.
Bro.
Deb.
You're a sweet
Deb.
baby. Waddy.
That's why they're honking.
Here is a rose-ringed parakeet. And there it goes flying away. And here is some footage from the elephant foot care clinic that I got to take part in. Here is some of the vets working on that foot care. Oh, here's Ronaldo again. He decided to attend the foot care session for some reason. I really saw him quite a few times because he'll just pull up on you. He's very curious about people, which is, if you look him up, he, I believe, has killed about 8 or 9 folks in this area, unfortunately, by either stepping on them or, impaling them with a tusk. So, definitely something to keep an eye out for. And here's at the very end, one of these juvenile male elephants was trained in doing this little thing where they put a necklace on you. So that was cute. And then I gave him a little elephant Momo.
Yeah, I got some.
Oh, here's the mimosa plant, the sensitive plant. You can see the leaves moving after I touch them. Here's just a little festival. And here's Pooja, the big baby rhino, just walking up to me, saying hello. These guys were not shy at all. Here is a mongoose that I saw just running along the path into the camp compound, and apparently these also do get into people's farms. And here is that tawny cat. Here's some footage where we were trying to get a stool sample out of its cage without opening the cage because they're very quick and they could jump out. So the guy was trying to get this out with a stick for some reason, and the thing, it kept getting in the way, and we were trying to get its little poop there, but it was not working out. They eventually got it. Here's me feeding the elephant Momo. Here's a baby government elephant. I believe this one is only a couple of months old, and it's just starting its training process where it will go out with the other elephants into the forest to find their food stuffs and to get water from the river. But they do keep them tied up because otherwise they would just kind of run away. Oh, here's one of these deer. The muntjac deer, the smallest species of deer, I believe, in continental Asia. And here he is giving me a sweet little nod. I don't really know why, but here's the elephants from the Stand Up for Elephants Center. And then here's a little puppy of one of the stray dogs outside.
Is that your baby?
And I took a canoe ride and a hike with my friend that I had been traveling with, and then one of her friends who was actually in a band in Nepal. So we all went out on this little excursion day. And here's some footage from that showing the gharial and mugger crocodiles just lining the shore. And here's a whole herd of deer we saw running through the woods, where we thought there might be a tiger or a leopard following close behind, but we weren't able to spot one. And here is an area where we'd waited for some time for something to come by and use this little watering pond, and finally a large rhinoceros came and decided to take a bath, so that was cool. And And at the end of the day, we all camped out at this tower situation. They have these watchtowers spread throughout the camp that I'm not sure if they were originally fire posts or something like that. Maybe they still are able to be used as that. However, tourism companies will take people to stay in them, and each one has several rooms and stuff. So this is the vantage point from that. Here's the call of a bird called a pied hornbill, which I was proud to get on film here. And there it goes. Here I made one last stop by the Tiger Containment Center to say goodbye to these guys before I left. And then here's one of my favorite stray dogs. His name was Kale. But very friendly. Here he is trying to come into the house. And that's all the clips that I have from my time in Chitwan, Nepal. So make sure you checked out my last full video about traveling here, where I give a more full summary of my time and what I was doing there. And that you also tune in to the next installment where I talk about my time in Lumbini, Nepal. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.